previous lecture, we have discussed about the RS flip-flop. We have discussed the basic RS flip-flop and RS flip-flop with the clock. Here you can see that circuit diagram and we have the truth table. So in RS flip-flop we have seen that if you are not applying any kind of a clock, so if the clock input is 0, S and R is anything 0 and 1, the flip-flop is not going to change the state. It will remain in a previous state. Same way, when we apply the clock, but if S and R, both the inputs are 0, then also the flip-flop is not changing the state. Means it is working as a memory. So here these two conditions is for the memory. So whatever the data you want to store, after storing the data, you make the clock 0 or you make the S and R equal to 0, then your data will remain in a memory. Then if the S input is 0, R input is 1, and when we apply the clock, then the next state of the flip-flop is going to 0. So this is known as a reset condition of the flip-flop. Means the memory is clear out. When the S input is 1, R input is 0, then the next state of the flip-flop is going to be set, it will be high, and this is called a set condition. Now, the important thing in the RS flip-flop is if we are keeping a S equal to 1 and R is equal to 1, then what will happen? That both the flip-flop, both the output Q and Q bar is going to reach. Here you can say S input is 1, my clock is there, this R input is also 1, so this output is going to be 0, here this output is going to be 0, and due to this 0 to this and gate, this Q will try to reach to the high level. Same way, this Q bar will also going to reach to the high level. So here you don't have a complement. Q and Q bar will not be a complement. And also it is not necessary that always the Q will reaching to a high level. It again depends on the internal circuit that which transistor has a high HAP. So here when you apply S and R equal to 1, then this output is unpredictable. Here the Q and Q bar is unpredictable and therefore it is known as a forbidden condition. And always we have to avoid this kind of the situation in the flip-flop. So you can say this is a kind of a disadvantage of the RS flip-flop, that you cannot apply S is equal to 1 and the R is equal to 1. So we can overcome from this problem by applying a feedback. So output is connected to the input. So Q will be also connected to the input, as well as the Q bar will be also connected to the one of the input of the flip-flop. And that type of the connection, that modification of the RS flip-flop is known as a JK flip-flop. So let us see what is the JK flip-flop. Here you can see this modification, that what is the Q output is there. This Q output we are connecting to the input of this flip-flop as the R input. So one of the feedback is this. Then another feedback is from the Q bar and it is given to the S input. So here from this S input it is connected to a Q bar. Remember. So when this RS flip-flop is modified with the feedback, now this S input is known as a J input and the R input is known as K input, and here we have a clock. So this is the logic diagram for a JK flip-flop. Now here if you see the truth table, now in the truth table also instead of S, here we will write J and K. J input and the K input. Then here if you see the truth table, if you verify the truth table, then the JK flip-flop is going to follow the truth table of a RS flip-flop up to this. But now there will be a change in the last condition when the J is equal to 1 and the K is equal to 1. So let us see first of all that if the clock is 0, if my clock input is 0 and let us say that my previous state of the flip-flop is 1 and the Q bar is 0. So we have to assume whenever we switch on the flip-flop, then the Q and Q bar will be either it will be a 1 or it will be 0 if you don't have a preset or the clear facility. Correct? Okay. Now let us say J input is anything and the K input is also a anything. Means we are discussing this condition. So now this Q is 1 and therefore here this input is going to be a 1. Q bar is 0, so this input is going to be a 0. Now here in this NAND gate, the two inputs are 0, so definitely the output of this NAND gate will be a high. Correct? And here this 0 is present. So due to this 0, it will be appear here and 1 0, that output of the NAND gate is remaining high. This high level is going to appear here and here this 1 0 is there. So output of this NAND gate is also going to be a 1 and due to this 1 input to this NAND gate, output is going to 0. So here you can see my previous state was also a Q is equal to 1 in the after the no clock. When we are not applying the clock, then also the output is remain in a previous state, that is a Qn. So if the clock will not be there, the flip-flop is not changing the state. Correct? Okay. Okay. Now we will take this condition. What is this condition? Where we have applying a clock. So here the clock is going to be present, means this point will be a high level. And let us say my previous state is a 1 and here the Q bar is 0, previous state. And what we are going to apply? That the J is equal to 0, this J is equal to 0 and K is equal to 1. So here that the Q is 1, so due to this feedback, this input is also going to be a 1. Now the clock is also a high, so this input is also going to be a 1. And due to this 1 1 1, the output of this NAND gate is 0. Now let us see that the Q bar is 0 and it is going to be appear here. So one of the input of the NAND gate is 0, so this output is going to be a 1. Correct? So now this input to this NAND gate is 0, so definitely this output of this NAND gate will be a high. So it becomes a 1. Now this one is going to be appear here. So 1 1 input makes the output of this NAND gate a 0. So when my J input is 0, K input is 1 and the next state of the flip-flop is going to 0, that is the reset condition of the JK flip-flop. Okay. Now let us see the next one, means this. The clock is present, so it is 1. My previous state is, let us say, 1 and the Q bar is 0. You can assume anything. Remember, instead of 1, let us say this is going to be a 0. And then this one is a 1. Correct? What is my J input and K input? J input is high and the K input is 0. Now, due to this feedback, that is the Q is 0, so this is also a 0. And the Q bar is 1, so here it is 1. Now, for this NAND gate, all the 3 inputs are at high level, so this output is definitely going to be a 0. And here the one of the input to the NAND gate is 0, so this output is going to be a 1. And in upper gate, one of the input is 0, so this output is going to be a 1. This one is appear here, so 1 input to this NAND gate make the output 0. So in this way, when we apply J is equal to 1, K is equal to 0, then my next state of the flip-flop is going to be 1, and that is called a set condition. Correct? Now in this situation, we make a J is equal to 0 and the K is equal to 0. Here, J is equal to 0 and K is equal to 0, and we apply the clock. So now what will happen? Here, what is the output? That is a 0. So this 0 is going to be appear here, and this output previous state is 1. So this is going to be a 1. So here if you see 0, 0, 1 is present, then definitely this output of the flip-flop is going to be 1. And here also 0, 0, 1 is there, so the flip-flop output is going to be 1. But this high level, at the output Q is equal to 1, this one is going to be appear, so 1 input keep this Q bar 0. And this 0 input to this NAND gate 0, 1, it will keep this output high. My previous state, the Q was 1, Q bar was 0. Now I am making a J is equal to 0 and K is equal to 0. The output is not going to change. It is remaining in a previous state. Means here the JK flip-flop is working as a memory cell. Okay, now let us see the last condition of this JK flip-flop. Means when the J is equal to 1 and the K is equal to 1. So here we have a J is equal to 1 and this one K is equal to 1. And we have applied the clock. Now here let us assume that my previous state of the flip-flop Q is 1 and the Q bar is 0. So now what will happen? The Q bar is 0, so it is going to be appeared here, and one of the input for this NAND gate is 0, so definitely this output is 1. Now this one input is appeared here, this is also K is 1 and the clock is also high, so all the 3 inputs are high, so this input is going to be a 0. And when one of the input to this NAND gate is 0, then definitely here this is going to be a high. Remember, 0 is changing to 1. Now this 1 is going to be appear at the input of this NAND gate. So 1 input, this makes the Q 0. So here you can see that my previous state was 1, and after applying the clock, it is going to be complemented, become a 0. So there is a kind of a toggling. Now let us say that my previous state here, let us say the previous state, the q is equal to 0 and the q bar is equal to 1. And now we apply the clock. J is equal to 1, k is equal to 1. We apply the clock. Then what is the next state? So here this 1 is going to be appeared here. The 1 1 1 input makes this output of the NAND gate 0. Here the 0 input is there. 0 1 1. So makes this output a high. Now this input, one of the input to this NAND gate is 0. So now this output is definitely going to be a high. So here you can see the output is toggle. It becomes from 0 to 1. And this 1 is appeared here. The 1 1 makes the Q bar 0. So in a previous state my Qn was 0, then the Qn plus 1 become a 1. Before that we have seen that if the previous state is 1, then the Qn plus 1 become a 0. So when the J input and the K input both are high, and if we apply the clock pulse, then here we have a toggling of the output, and you can write that this is a Qn bar. It is called a toggling. In RS flip-flop, this state was undefined, but due to this feedback, here the previous state is going to be a toggle 0. If it is 0, become a 1, 1 become a 0. So this is the truth table of a JK. But this flip-flop has also a kind of a disadvantage, and that is a racing condition is there. So what is the racing condition? Let us see. So to understand this racing condition, let us say my J input is 1, K is equal to 1, and I have applied a clock. Again we consider that let us say the previous state is 1 and this Q bar is 0. Now when we apply a clock, remember that the clock has some finite period. So when we apply this clock, then it is going to remain high for certain time period. Let us say it is a T. Correct? Now try to understand that this one is present here, correct? And this 0 is present here. So due to this 0, this output is going to be a 1. And due to this 1, 1, 1, output of this NAND gate is going to be a 0. And this input to the NAND gate is 0, so it is toggled to a high level. And this high level is appeared here. So 1, 1 as said, then this output is going toggled to 0. Correct? Now remember, this thing is going to take place within the propagation delay of this NAND gate. Let us say the propagation delay of the NAND gate is of a 5 nanosecond. Then here it will take the 5 nanosecond, here it will take the 5 nanosecond, and after the 10 nanosecond, your output is going to change. It is known as a propagation delay. Remember, this is propagation delay is 10 nanosecond. But let us say my clock pulse, this clock pulse is of a 1 millisecond. Clock pulse is of a 1 millisecond. So what will happen? Here if I will draw this waveform, for a Q output, now initially the Q was high, now it become a 0. Remember, here it was high, it become a 0. Now this 0 is appear here, so this will be a 0, this 1 is here, so this is going to be a 1. Remember, my clock pulse is already high, so this one input and one input, this makes 0, and 1 0 input, this makes high, and 0 input to this NAND gate makes a high, and this high is appear here, it makes a 0. So here again my clock is high, so the output is changed toggle from a 0 to 1. Now again the clock is already high, correct? So this one is going to be appear at this point, and whatever the 0 is there, this 0 is going to appear here. Again this input to this 0 makes the output of this NAND gate to a high level, and 1 1 1 input to this NAND gate makes the output 0. Now one of the input is 0 to this NAND gate, so output is toggled to a high level, and this high level is appear here. So for this output, for this NAND gate, output is going to be 0. So in this way, the output is again toggled from 1 to 0. So here you can see that my propagation delay is of only 10 nanosecond, and my clock pulse is of a 1 millisecond. So in 1 millisecond, the number of times the output of the flip-flop is going to be toggled from 1 to 0, 0 to 1, 0 to 1, or 1 to 0. Here you cannot predict. Here during this time period, remember, it is go on changing number of times. And whenever the clock is 0, the output will be either 0 or 1. Again, when the clock will be present, again the toggling will start. Like this. So, this kind of the situation is known as a racing condition. So, here output is undefined. Output is going to be undefined. Then after the clock playing the clock pulse, the output will be a high or it will be a low. Because the continuous toggling is going to be present in this flip-flop. You have the output 0 or 1, but it is undefined. So how we can overcome from this problem? And for that you have here whatever the time period propagation delay and the clock pulse time period is there. Remember that always that one of the solution is the propagation delay must be greater than the T by 2. What is T? That is the periodic time of your clock pulses. But remember, the propagation delay is very small. It is in order of a few nanoseconds, and therefore your requirement of the clock pulse, it should be also very small. That is not possible. You cannot have a very small clock pulses. Means the clock frequency will be very large. Second thing is that you can increase the propagation delay. You can increase the propagation delay than the clock pulses. But if you increase the propagation delay, then the system is going to be slow. Here, whatever the operation you want, then this operation is going to be slow, system is going to be slow, so it is also not a practical solution. So the practical solution is that again we have to modify this JK flip-flop. And the modified version of this JK flip-flop is known as a master-slave flip-flop. So let us see what is the master-slave flip-flop. Now, this flip-flop, already you are familiar with this, correct? It is a basic RS flip-flop. Now, same type of the RS flip-flop we also use. So, two RS flip-flop are used in a master-slave JK flip-flop. Here, you can see that two different RS flip-flops are there. Now, here this output of this RS flip-flop is given to the input of this RS flip-flop, and then we will provide a kind of a feedback. So here let us say we join this. That the output of this flip-flop is connected to this. Now, here whatever the clock pulse we have, remember, this is my clock. Same way, this is also a clock. Now, whatever the clock we have right here, but now we are inverting this clock. Remember, two RS flip-flop is there, but both the RS flip-flop are operate at a different clock. Okay? And now we provide a feedback. So the Q is connected at this input, and the Q bar is present. It is connected at this input. Now this input we call a J, this input is K. Means basically we use the two RS flip-flop and then we provide the feedback. This is called a master-slave flip-flop, and this first part is known as a master, and another part is known as a slave. So what is the function of the slave? Then it will copy the master. Whatever the output of the master is there, it will be copied by the slave. But it will be copied after the clock is going to be inverted. So remember, here this flip-flop is operate when we have a positive clock. When there will be a positive clock here, So here due to the inversion, we have a negative clock at the second input. So what will happen in this case? That this flip-flop will be enabled. Here, when my clock is like this, then this first flip-flop will be enabled, but the second one is disabled. So in that case, there will not be change in the output. Now, when we have a negative pulse at the input, because the clock positive 0, 1, 1, 1, 0 will be there, at regular interval it is changing. So when this 0 will be present here, then the master will be a disable and the slave will be a enable. So if the input will change, then it is not necessary that output will also change, because both the flip-flops are operating at a different time period. So to understand this, how we can avoid the racing condition, let us consider my J input is 1, K input is also a 1, we are applying a clock. Remember, so here we apply the clock, that is equal to 1. So J is 1, K is also a 1. We apply the clock here, so this clock input is 1. But now, this clock input at this point is going to be a 0. Correct? Okay. Now, consider that my previous state at this input is 1. And this is, previous state of this output Q is 1 and the Q bar is 0. Correct? So, when this positive clock pulse is there, here we consider the Q is equal to 1 and the Q bar is 0. Okay. So this one is going to be appeared here and this 0 is appeared here. So due to this 1, 1, 1, this will be a 0 and this is going to be 1, and if this is 0, so this output is 1 and this output is going to be 0. But remember that at that time this clock is 0. This clock is 0 means this Q and Q bar will not be changed. Q and Q bar will not be changed whenever my clock is high. When this clock, remember, the clock is going to be a 0 here. This is going to be a 0. At that time, what will be this? It will be a 1. So, here the clock is high. So, this second flip-flop is going to be a enable. And 0, 1 input, this output will be a 0. And 1, 1 input, this output, correct. 0, 1 input, this output is going to be high, and 1, 1 input, this output of the NAND gate is going to 0. And when this input is going to be 0, then here this output is going to be a 1. And 1, 1 input, this output is going to be 0. So when the clock becomes 0, the Q becomes 0, Q bar is going to be 1. So here we have a kind of a toggle this cell. But remember, when the toggle will take place? When the clock becomes a 0. So here now this zero is going to be appear here. This one is going to be appear here at the input. But the clock input is zero. Clock input is zero. So this 0 and 1 will not be changed. Here you can see that 0 and 1, so this output will be 1, and here it is going to be a, here also it is going to be a 1. And due to this 1 1 input, there will not be a change in the output. So here my output is changing, the output is toggle, but the clock input is 0 here, so that's why this output and this output is not changing. Now when the clock, remember, when this clock become a high again, 1 0, and this clock become a high, means here if it is going to be a 1, at that time this clock is going to be 0. So this one input is there, the output is going to be 0 here. This is 1 1 and 0, output is high. Now this input is going to be, this output is going to be a high, and this output high become a 0. But remember, at that time this clock is 0. This clock is 0, so the output Q and the Q bar is not going to change. Correct? And when this becomes a 0, here this clock is going to be a high. So here now 1 1, this is going to be a 0, and that one of the input is 0, output is going to be toggled to 1, and this one is also present here. So 1 input, 0 input, and this output is going to be 1. This 1 1 output is toggled to 0. So in this way, when we apply a clock pulse to the input, then during the positive cycle, the first flip-flop will be active, second one will be a deactive. And during this negative cycle, the first flip-flop will be deactive and the second flip-flop is going to be active. So here we can avoid the racing condition of the JK flip-flop. So truth table will be as it is, like a JK flip-flop. Remember. And if we see what is the symbol, this one is K input, Q output, Q bar output, and we have this clock. Correct? Okay. Now always in a flip-flop, we have a preset and a clear input is there. So here the preset will be there, and here you have a clear. In the previous video I already mentioned what is the function of the preset and clear. So preset and clear, that you can add in this flip-flop at this point. Here you applied a clear input, and here you can apply a preset input. Remember, when the preset input and the clear input both are 0, then this is not applied. Both the input cannot be 0. When the preset input is 0 and the clear input is high, then the output is going to be set. That will be the Q is equal to 1. That is the set condition. When the preset is 1 and the clear is 0, the Q is going to be 0. This is the reset. And when we keep the preset input 1, clear input 1, then this is used for a normal operation. Remember. Correct? So, whenever we have preset and clear input, then here they are a active low. Remember, they are active low. That's why we put a bubble in the symbol. And for normal operation, always keep this preset high and the clear high. That function already we have discussed in the previous video, and that's why I am not discussing here. So this is the one of the master slave flip-flop using a NAND gate. Now if we have directly a RS flip-flop, that IC of the RS flip-flop is there, and how we can make the master slave flip-flop. Let us see. Master slave flip-flop using a RS flip-flop. Correct? And this part is nothing but it is a master. And this is a slave. We have J input, K input and clock. This clock is going to be inverted, so you can say it is a clock bar. The output of the master slave is Qn and Qn bar. Here it is Qs and the Qs bar is there. Now let us see that when we have applied a clock, then what is my J input, K input and the Q n plus 1. Correct? Now here, when the clock is 0, J is anything, K is also anything, then it is remaining in a previous state. Correct? Here the clock is 0, so this flip-flop is going to be a disabled. But at that time this clock is high, so it is going to be enabled. Enabled, but in that case the previous state is, let us say, a 1 and this previous state is 0, so it is not going to change the state, so it is a Qn plus, it will be in a previous state Qn. Same way, if we apply this clock, J is 0 and the K is 0, then also here it is remain in a previous state. Then we have a 0 1, 1 0 and 1 1. So here I am not discussing these two operations. When the J is 0, K is 1, then the output is definitely going to be a 0. This is my reset. And when the J is high, then the output is definitely 1. It is a set condition. We will discuss only when the J is 1 and the K is 1. So try to understand. When this J is 1, K is also 1, and I am assuming that my previous state is 1 and the Q bar is 0. So here this 0 is going to be appear here and this high level is going to be appear here. Now we apply a clock pulse. Remember, we applied a clock pulse. J is 1. So, due to this 1, 1, 1, here due to this 1, 1, the R is going to be 1. And 0, 1 input, so the output of this AND gate. So, S input is 0. And whenever we have S input 0, then this Qn is 0 and the Qn bar is going to be 1. So that is the reset condition for the first flip-flop. Now when the clock is 1 here, at that time the clock at this point is 0. So this flip-flop is going to be a disable. It is not changing the state. But now when this clock pulse become a 0, here from this 1 to it become a 0, here now it become a 0. So at this time, this clock will be a high. Remember, this clock is going to be high. So X input is 0 and the R input is 1. So S input is 0. So now the output is toggled from 1 to 0 and the Q bar is going to be toggled from 0 to 1. So here now the toggling is taking place. So you can say the output will be a Qn bar. Now this 0, remember, this 0 is appear here and this high level is appear here. But you can see the clock is 0, so output of this flip-flop is not changing and therefore the output of the second flip-flop is also not going to change. So here the toggling will not be take place frequently. That what was happening in a JK flip-flop. Correct? Okay. Now when this clock become a high, means this is going to be high. So J and K, this J and this input is going to be high. So my S input will be a 1. And this is to 0, this one is 1. So R input is 0. So the set input is 0 means the here the flip-flop is going to be set become 1 and this is going to be a 0. But remember here when this clock is high, at that time this clock is 0, so the slave is disabled. Here the output of this flip-flop is changed, but it cannot change the output of the second flip-flop because the clock is 0. And again when this clock becomes a 0, here clock becomes 0, this clock will be a high. And when it will be high, so S input is 0, so S input is 1, now this one will be transferred here, it is going to be toggled. And this 0 input is there, R input is 0, so this is going to be a 0. So in this way, the output of this flip-flop, whatever the Q is there, initially it was 1, then become a 0, then become a 1, then become a 0. So it is continuously go on top. So here we have used this master slave flip-flop. So in the next lecture, we will discuss about another type of the flip-flop which is known as a D flip-flop and a T flip-flop. And what are the applications of the D and T flip-flop also we will discuss.